Hello, welcome to our podcast. Today we have two super special guests who are Joan, a soccer player in the first division here in Costa Rica, and Diego, master chef at the El Punto gastronomic workshop in Escazú.
Woo!
It is a pleasure for me to be here because this is my first time in this program. I am very excited to tell you my story and everything I have experienced during my career as a professional player. I hope to be an inspiration for the young people in this country.
I hope to have a great time today and that you can entertain yourself with the anecdotes we have for today. Since I have been a chef, I have had different experience, which I am going to share with you today. Some of them are very funny, so I hope you have found them in this podcast.
Well, guys, today we have this special guest because a week I spent super curious thing. Thus, it turns that I was watching the game that played Johan against Alajuelense, I think, and I remember once when I was watching a game. When I was a kid. Uh, my mom I cook my favorite food as child, and since that I don't try a dish like that again until one day when I went to Diego to eat, and it made me very nostalgic. Also, my mom cooks better than Diego. She reminded me of my childhood.
Wow, what a surprising memory. That also reminds me of the first time I cooked gallo pinto. It was a little girl who ate a whole stick of butter, 3 tablespoons of salt, and half bottle of Lizano sauce. I remember that my mother ate that dish and told me that is the most delicious thing she had ever tasted, but that the next time I would add less Lisano sauce and butter. Oh, mothers, they go all of their way to see their children happy. I will visit my mother shortly. I will bring you some of my mother's best dish.
Fabian, I know your mom cooks better than me. Moms have the best recipes and their meals are unique. And Ingrid, I understand you. Every first time cooking something is an adventure. I have been a chef for 10 years and it still make mistakes when I try a recipe for the first time. Recently, I mistook some sugar for salt. It was terrible. My recipe was a disaster. It was the saltiest dessert in the world.
Uh, well, Johan, tell us about yourself. How did you become a soccer player?
Thanks for the question. I have always liked soccer. I have played soccer since I was 6 years old, but when I really knew that I love this sport was when I started in the soccer school when I was 8 years old. I was there for 10 years. These years were very, very hard because I had to practice soccer and study in the school, but I did. When I was 18 years old, I couldn't continue with the soccer because I didn't have the money to pay the soccer school and I have to work because my family lost the company. These years was very hard because I had to work and I had to continue practice with my sport.
Wow, Johan, from small has had the dream of being a soccer player, and I admire how you manage to fight these problems and adversities of life. I'm sure you'll be a great inspiration to many young people in the country.
Yes, I hope so. In so I start in a local game, in a local team, and in one local game, there was a old coach, and he told me that I had a great potential. He recommended me with some friends, and made and then I made many tries to get involved in a great team, but I was never selected. But after many tries, I get into Perez Leon teams in the first division. It was a surprise for me. I was there for 3 years, and then I joined to Deportivo Saprissa, and now I am here in this team.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I checked your statistics on Perez León things, and they are impressive. 60 goals, 20 assists in 85 games in 3 years. And even more amazing are your stats, Deportivo Saprissa, because with just 1 year, they have 25 goals and 10 assists.
Yes, it was very difficult, but I still continues. Now I have the opportunity to be part of a team in Europe. I am traveling there the next week. I am very excited.
I don't wonder if you have this professional offer in Europe. We wish you the greatest success.
Thanks.
Yeah, it is the truth what Fabian says. My 7 years old niece always watched you play from the beginning of your career. She doesn't miss a single game. In fact, when she gets home, I'm sure she will ask me if I bring her something autographed from one of his inspirations. She has been in a soccer school for 2 years, and in my opinion, she has a great future. She will be a great soccer player. You are meeting next week, and you will be able to talk a lot.
Well, now that you are talking about football, I have to admit that I'm a big soccer fan. I'm always watching the games and how the soccer teams are doing. I have some knowledge of soccer, but I don't practice I don't practice it as well that I'm cooking. I have always loved it ever since I was a child, but my real passion is cooking when I was growing up, and it's still today.
Yeah, by the way, the game that you will play next month, what do you think of it? As you will face your old team, Barcelona, yeah? What are the difference between these two teams?
Yes, that will be a very interesting match for me because Perez León is a more organized than Deportivo Saprissa, but currently Saprissa is the team with the best player because Saprissa has more money than Perez León team.
But which team do you prefer to play?
Uh, I can't really choose one. It is hard to choose.
How interesting, Joanne. I imagine that both teams have their pros and cons like everything else.
Yes, you are right.
And Diego, how do you feel in your new stage as executive chef in one of the largest and most important restaurants in our country, such as El Punto Gastronomic Workshop?
Oh, thank you for your asking. It is new. It is news that was recently given. I am really excited about it. I have always tried to work in the best restaurant in the country, and since I started as a chef, it has been my goal. Working in El Punto is the greatest opportunity I have had in my career. This is one of the best restaurants in the country. Also, their dishes are similar to my specialties, so I am sure I will be an excellent opportunity.
Diego, I have a question. Will you start your own restaurant or are you going to generate an enterprise based on your knowledge and skills? Or I don't know, found a cooking school?
Oh, of course, the thought of my own restaurant excites me a lot because as a chef, you always imagine having your own restaurant and running the kitchen, but it is not so easy to have it. You need money and good place to put it. So for the moment, I don't think that it's going to happen. It will. I will take the advantage of my opportunity at El Punto, and I will do my best to make myself even better known to people. And in the future, they can come and visit me in my restaurant. Well, I will probably open my cooking school because it's a great idea too.
Wow, Diego, how inspiring of many people who also want to start their own business. Thinking about this, it reminds me of the many people who, thanks to their business, achieved the dreams to traveling while working. Fabian, what do you like to do next year? What countries or place in Costa Rica would you like to visit?
Wow, Ingrid, this is a difficult question. Well, I would like to visit Canada because I have some good friends there, and there is also a national park. I think that there, its name is Banff, which is the most beautiful place in the world. It has mountains with huge snow and a lake with turquoise water. The only bad thing is that Canada is very cold. Another country that I would like to know is Japan. I love Japanese culture. They are very respectful and friendly people with delicious gastronomy and super different place. Finally, I think that I would like to travel to Iceland since it is considered the best country to live in. I has landscape that I like movies.
Wow, it is very interesting. I want to visit Japan too, and then during my trip to Europe the next week, I will visit many countries such as France and Italy. I am meeting with the coach the next Tuesday, and um, after that, I will spend some time in Italy. I will visit the main historical place from this country, and finally, I will go to France. Since I was a child, I have want to visit this country. Um, I want to visit this country because I love its culture and food.
Oh, in fact, now that you mentioned travel, I am planning a trip to Italy next month, in which I will be visiting the best restaurants in the country as part of my preparation as a chef. I am going to observe how The best and original pasta and pizzas are prepared in Italy, so that I can come and prepare them in Costa Rica in a similar way. In addition to observing the preparations, I'm thinking of visiting the most visited places in Italy, such as the Colosseum and Venice, in order to get to know the better of this beautiful country.
Yeah, and for me, I am going to go to Russia. It has a beautiful landscapes and I will visit the Red Square in Moscow to see that beautiful building must be amazing. I am also going to visit the Peterhof Place in St. Petersburg and take pictures with the waterfalls and the statues that it has and have lunch in one of the park that it houses and of course go to Lake Baikal, which is one of the longest river in the world.
That's amazing, Ingrid. But well, unfortunately, the postcard time has run out. I thank our guests Johan and Diego for coming, and we wish them the best of success in their personal projects.
Thank you. I love talking with you. I hope to be back again soon. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for inviting us. It really was a fun time. I have a great time.
It was a pleasure spending this time with our guest today, and we look forward to seeing you next week on yet another podcast.